The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sawagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machinde, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besigye every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting, thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karhanga. We are into the second and final hour of this particular program. I am with Dennis Tumuhairwe, a founding member of the People Power Movement, political analyst, but also one of the former personal aides of Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. We're talking about what is happening in the country, and he paints a gloomy picture. He says, in his words, Uganda is bleeding. And we need to restore constitutionalism back to this country. So,
yes.
How do we restore constitutionalism back?
First of all, I'd go back to the call by Dr. Kiza Besigye. Besigye aludenga atugamba nti tuli mu buwambe. For the longest time, I've seen him preach all this. We have a problem, opposition, to badde mu comfort zone. Tugenze and to comfortable. People are looking after positions. People actually resigned to the government. They bakiriza government ekolechi ebakulembere. They bakiriza NRM ekulembere ngabwe yagala. Accepting the government kulembere is not a problem. But accepting okulembera including ngeze misango eri bana Uganda. Now, the opposition, which was supposed to do checks and balances here and then, is not doing enough. People resolved to simple positions. People in opposition, when they get small intense incentives, including positions, if somebody, it is hard to find now an opposition leader, a serious opposition leader, who is not milking anything from the consolidated fund. Name any person who is seriously fighting, who claims to be fighting the NRM government, has a way he's getting something from the government, from the consolidated fund. No problem, no problem. Sichibo opposition okufuna kasente mu government kubanga omusolo gwaffe. So sichina ko buzibu. Naye bobanga position gy'olimu agamba bannayuganda nti gw'olwanira nsonga zaabwe ate bw'ofunayo ssente mu gavumenti okusinza mu tteeka ate tokozesa ssente ezo kwegagabaza nga ggwe kuzimba kalina abaana bo bagenda nabo ku kisu bagenda na mulyango buddo ab'opposition wana abakulembera opposition bonna abaana baabwe basomera wamu n'aba gavumenti gye bakola ki gye basomera in a country that is bleeding the top opposition leaders abaana baabwe gye basomera n'aba gavumenti n'aba minister Noah Museveni wasomera n'aba nabo opposition gye basomera
omuntu gwe bawakanya tekyandibadde kibi ekyo singa bafisaako at least omutemwa omunene okufacilitatinga struggle oba ne bagamba nti abaana basomye naye katongeremu kuki kuka pressure ate twesanze nga ate esente ze bafuna zino ziba nafuya emibiri agalwana ne gakola ki ne gakendeera lwaki balina okulwana lwaki gwe tugenda n'olwana nobanze
no you're right
why are we putting it on these guys
oli mutuufu naye
because they can do as much
no oli mutuufu I think you're right but we expect them to lead nobody we cannot be leading ourselves they are one of us oba they are bali omukuffe bali bamukuffe we expect them to lead the way tetugamba nti gwe Kyagulanyi gendayo wekka tetugamba nti Lukwago gendayo wekka tetugamba nti so and so Mpuga gendayo wekka nedda we are saying provide leadership mutukulemberemu give us a plan what plan do you have what is your plan as opposition to get rid of this regime your plan is to go sit in the parliament and go home and take your children to the beach and your wives to the beach to Dubai then to first class schools as we suffer. Do you have a short term, a long term? What's your plan? So it seems as there is no plan from the opposition. Now, Dr. Besigye has, in the last, I think, 10 years, embarked on a move to tell us to rise up. Now, mu byokwetaasa, mu byokwenunula, Dr. Besigye, he has been left alone. Mu masanganzira, you would say. He seemed to be preaching to the deaf. I've listened to him. Educate us. He's my mentor. He has educated us and told us the several ways we could put up serious resistance, non-violent resistance, which includes demonstration, which includes sit-downs, which includes
boycotts,
which include several alternatives that the good doctor has tried to put across in the past few years that Ugandans have just looked on like this. Ne bamuleka Dr. Besigye bwe bamulaba avudde mu byokwesimbawo bano abandoninga bo ne bagenda mu byebifo bamwagadde kati nga balaba omusajja agenda kukola ki kufa. But Besigye is fighting up to now. Did you know that Dr. Besigye, when they went to visit him in the prison, he refused to meet them? Yesterday, Yaganyi Okusisinkana. Yaganye. Dr. Besigye, si mugonvu tasobola kulaba bantu. Umugonvu abera mu ddwaliro. He was taken to hospital. He came back. He was fit. He could have gone and talked to them. But he knows politicians are masqueraders. The politicians of this time, those ones of positions, want to milk juice out of your suffering. Basiboli, and someone gets pleasure in posting free political prisoners, free our people. Today I met Dr. Besigye. He's in bad condition. He asks for your prayers. Free Dr. Besigye. Ebyo. Politicking. Olina afa. Why never rest in peace, our comrade. We lost a comrade. Some of these, okay, of course you will say some, a few will get some real pain and concern. But most of the politicians you see going to hospitals to visit those patients, going to prisons, are politicking. Are politicians posturing, masqueraders, masquerading around as if they are pained, but they are not in pain. That is why Dr. Besigye sent them somebody and told them, don't come to visit me. I want to hear some noise from outside there, something which is actually tangible going on. And don't talk about me alone. All political prisoners whose cases were quashed by the Supreme Court. So, you coming to see me as what? Are you my doctors? Doctor, these are not doctors. Why are they coming to meet me? They are not his lawyers.
Are you intentionally distorting
no,
the facts of the matter?
No.
Did you talk to Obed Kamurege and tell you the context of it? Because it was Obed who met the Bobi Wines and the rest of the team of opposition players.
You see, Besigye is my personal friend. I will tell you this. And as I was Kyagulanyi's PA when he was becoming a member of parliament and the consequent time of people power formation, I am close to Bobi Wine. I am close to Elias Lukwago. I am close to different politicians in this country. And I can tell you, factually, that what I'm telling you is actually true. You can believe me or not. And the issue is some people want to sanitize the whole situation. But when you sanitize, it does not help. It does not help. The issue is we want Ugandans to rise and free themselves. Dr. Besigye is not eating food. He's on a hunger strike.
Yes. Yaganyi
okulya. And he's saying, okay, at least mfocho kunchalia mukomera sija kulya kanfire wano. Kanfe njala. Let me die of hunger. You see, instead of eating food, because Besigye can sit in prison for 3 years, and you're visiting him properly, and you're coming back taking photos. We visited him today, he's well. Yesterday, he had pain. Segrinya was there for 2 years. When he came back, a few months, kaput. So, Besigye is saying, Nzokubera mukomera mveyo. Mfe. When... Because of my freedom being curtailed, at least let me sacrifice myself. So
I would rather die in prison.
I would rather die in prison than you coming and masquerading around as if you love me so much. So Besigye tayagala kulaba ku bantu bonna bajja kumusasira. Agamba mwesasire. Besigye already told us that his years have reached those ones where he does not really need so much.
Agamba yajiweza Bible emyaka Bible jegamba you have to live this year.
Yatugamba.
Ajiweza this year.
So obudde bwo bwaliko kati kugezako kulaba nga anunula eggwanga lino. So teyetaaga kumusasira. Twetaaga kusasira abana Uganda. Tubeko plans zetusala ezunulula ensi eno.
Nzikyebadde ogamba, let me bring a minority idea. Oba abantu tebakkiriza mu kyammwe. Oba abantu bagamba nti engeri gye bafuzeemu gye baagala. Why? These people are nationalistic in nature. Otunula opposition yaffe eriwamu teri mu ggwanga lyonna. Abamu bawa rejectinze. But this man, at least we're talking about Mr. Museveni, he has a nationalistic outlook. He has people from literally every part of this country. They stand up for him. Can we just say that the public, the Ugandans, have rejected you? They don't see you competent enough to be the next leader.
The Ugandans have not rejected us. Museveni has just mastered the art of deception and propaganda. And because he has all these incentives that actually Uganda are there, these tools he uses are resources of this country that he gets because of the position we put him in. He uses them to buy people here and there and somehow confuse some of the members. But I want to assure you that this country, the last time I checked, Dr. Besigye was embraced by the whole country. I don't know a region that totally rejected Besigye. Besigye was embraced by the whole country.
No, but we have had
Besigye was rigged out.
That is very true. But they've had instances where the opposition does not even have a candidate, an agent, or omuntu okubanga yesimbawo mu kifo ekyo. And an MP of Museveni comes. In fact, there was a time, I think 2016, where more than 18 MPs came unopposed.
Yes, but I really don't think we need members of parliament.
Oh,
yes.
Parliament ina manyi.
Parliament ina mugaso ki. That parliament of ours is not of so much consequence to this country. because as you can see, the laws they pass, you could say we have fairly a few. They are not very. What's the word? They are not very simbinyo, disastrous. The laws they pass are not very disastrous. They could have a few excesses here and there, but they're not disastrous. That's where the problem is. I don't know a law. You see, we are in the government system, the democracy, which set up the judiciary and executive and parliament, now brought checks and balances. If parliament passed an anti-people law, there's a constitution, there's a court to go to.
Yes.
So that parliament, biased as it is, it has the capacity to pass fairly good laws.
Yes.
If they are disastrous, then there is a court which can arbitrate on that.
Exactly.
My interest is not on parliament. My interest would be on the country as a large. How do we take over power from a dictatorial regime? Now, a regime has rigged people out of, it has rigged Besigye several times. In the last election, some believe that even Robert Yaganyi was rigged. Now, if the government, if the current system, the state which is in power, is rigging out opposition, what is our role as members? Feturo ozanti chechisera to tekeo akazito. I was here with Farid, I think, the last time. Nempa example kunsonga yemwanyi. Nti when emwanyi webali bajisa eteka lya coffee, the coffee bill that was passed. Ngamba, if opposition had put up a semblance of a serious fight, nebawa ultimatum. You see the ultimatum jebawa dekati. Nebaga 48 hours. Then they don't sit on it and act upon it. United, they come together as Ugandans. They identify a problem. Put aside their differences. Nebaga abanaye. Tujewamu buli omu ebizibu bye tubiteke wabbali. Kitugata tulwane. I believe there is no unjust law that can pass in that parliament. I believe that if Ugandans came together in a format ngabo walabye, that semblance, of course there is a bit of hypocrisy, but at least semblance, the semblance of unity, and then they rally Ugandans. They rally Ugandans and then they mobilize Ugandans. Nebagamba katife, we are going to march to Luzira, and there is no any games nebasituka. I believe Besigye will be released. I believe there is no law can be passed. I actually believe that even Museveni would not be attempting to bring his son or anybody else. He would be thinking of packing his bags. So, the comfort that has been created by the small monies that we get from the government. Singate zibadeo sente zonti omusajja agenda okulabanga
parliament yafuna million anaga tu.
Sina parliament an opposition leader ina billion ku account. We have people leading opposition but they are billionaires.
That's true.
Kakati billionaire omusubiro kyo okugamba ndi
but everywhere
people
who have been in power really have been wealthy people.
Yes, so what I'm saying.
Ne waba Ruto zo kuyingiranga Ruto simuzo.
You see vakuruto. Ne waba Raila. You see I want to think Kenya is a democracy. I want to think that Kenya is a democracy. But in a state, in a country that is bleeding, I don't expect people to be in opposition, in high political positions, in opposition, when they are billionaires, or when they have things to protect. Because the man has ruled, he's now ageza kukutta. Ayagala kumalawo. Abantu babawamba, abantu babasiba, abantu bagala bamalawo. Kakati gwaine ekizimbe ku Kampala Road ng'oli opposition. Oyinza ogamba bane tukere ku macha tulumbe banaye tuje. You cannot. So
Oina interest.
Oina interest ogamba why? Kati eri kalina ya wali yange. Bwe munayingira ne mu che kalina yange. So mu government bleeding. Opposition temba bizimbe.
Today ku parliament ye. Parliament ye mu mateeka at least so ogamba engeri president jaso ovaako. Goita a dictatorial president.
Yes.
We kama sikalulu. Parliament eno yesobola okwekolamu omulimu. Negamba kati fe tukujje ko tujjemo obwesige.
Olokubanga kalulu bakabba. Ne parliament bajiba. He rigs members. It is simple. Akwata calculator agamba and how many members do I need? he has you see the system of electing our leaders is also I would say bogus. We have tried to put up electoral reforms zichaganyi paka kati. I've had suggestions where, for example, I vote from Kamocha, from Green Valley Zone. After voting, then I have to wait for the returning officer who is in Naguru to declare me. Yet me, I've been elected in five villages where I know everybody. Tubadde ofena tubaze tumanyi nti ze mfunye bwe buti Edgar afunye bwe buti naye teeka ligamba mbunze nonye nomani gyali kugundi kutali center ampe ekipapula kyekimfuula kansala. Member wa parliament bamala omulonda ku byalo kwabeera n'agatta obululu bwe ng'abuwezezza kati atalina okugenda ku district oli amuwa ekipapula ekimufuula nti yafunye.
Because ono yaba akulembera ebyokulonda mu area.
Ffe tulowooza nti bandibadde ku polling station
wekigwera
badeclaringa if you have counted on the at the polling station netugamba nti ofunye omeka Edgar
nti 10
then simfunye meka nti 2 nti kale Edgar bana mukakasa nti bwe obadde nti ye sayininga nti kwata kino ekipapula
mikyalo ekirala yafunye
kiba kimala bwe ngate ebyalo byange nga n'ebipapula nze ngateeka suuti ate nga nuna kyekirala
kubanga oli basobola omuwa sente ate naye n'adistorting
si basobola. That's what happens. That's what happens. Basobola omuwa sente oba president oba system neba ne bacandidates begamba nti oyo ayitemu oli ayitemu because bobera kutale sente lwagulu bagamba nti if not satisfied go to what? Go to court. Sigwalondo omulamuzi wali DPP bwaba basindika file there are those magistrates basingiza abo ababwe bebalonda ne bagamba now you handle this case. They know which judges to give the political cases.
That's
what happens.
I don't know if if that is the reality of Uganda.
This is what happens in Uganda. Nti omala okulonda wano naye nga ne gwe balonze tasobola genda wakana agamba nti nze nfuuse nedda olinda musajja kutuula wali kugamba nti akufudde kabere member parliament somebody can declare totally different results twabira Kayunga and they tell you go to court baka go to court. When you go to court what happens? Go agenda okusala oguli mu court. So your issue of parliament, the parliament is rigged itself. As the president rigs his position katabane before bya government I need at least 400 MPs habonga bayisamu nga basigadde katinga now even these ones to make them comfortable bali mekulwana nnyo tufune abamanyi tubaweeyo kuki kubifo. And you know he has discovered the art that some members when they are eating they don't fight a lot.
Can you fight?
Yes, I can fight if I still know the cause because in ngamba nsende bwenzifuna if I'm earning 40 million ngamba nti abiri ngateka mu struggle nandi bali simple structures ndi kurutinga but now somebody is earning 40 million. I'm telling you
nayaja kama nazimbe offices mu myaka 5 nze political party esoso kuzimba headquarters zamanyi
offices and what and then what
anti obogamba
and then what? You mean that office if you now the one of the crimes
sente ze bampadde nga obadde ogamba mbu oba oteeka ku struggle no batadde mu struggle.
You build
I've built a school for leadership.
You don't build.
It's the only political party that
you don't build structures. You build capacity. Now the structure, that structure what today where mwenyini muri mu showbiz mukwata bifana nyinga muri ngamumali sikali ngabasirikali and they come and start picking like grasshoppers abasirikali basiba wali and infiltration bonana bayingira. When you get money in opposition, go and build structures countrywide, mobilize people to come and take over government. Kate chizimbe then what? When you command from there, to be command post, how many seconds will it take to overrun that one? Can even leave? even if you say to simple sawa bid ne bajawo kwemu mwinzo vawo
bibaddewo mirundi mingi nga baganda.
So what's the use of that office? So in a country that is bleeding, you build capacity, not structures. So the more you build structures, the more you build your benzes and what, it is all massaging and helping the dictatorial regime.
How much or how much worth is my vote? Because engeri gy'oyogeddemu nze omwaka ogujja mu Gatonya ngende ku polling station nondera ki
olonde your vote is two things. It is very powerful in some instances, then in some instances like Uganda it's very useless. It's both powerful and useless. It depends on who in the circumstances. Ojatuka ekiseera nga tekalira mugaso nga bwokataddemu tebakarigadinze bakoze byabwe, then it will be worthless. Then if for some reason, if for some circumstance we put up a situation over a condition embeera egamba nti kakati ffe tumaze okulonda wano tetuvaawo ffe tulonze twalonze Tumuhairwe, we voted Tumuhairwe hiya wakiri tuddemu tububale, then your vote will be worthy, to be so powerful. But if you surrender your power to an individual appointed by Museveni to declare your votes again, how? And it has happened over time. That's what he does. That's what they do. So it is a high time, as the good doctor has been telling us, to realize our worth and rise up. Ugandans tebamanyi, they don't know what they should be doing.
What don't you really know?
The problem is when leaders start confusing us, when we get the wrong people amongst the leaders, when leaders don't speak the same language. When Dr. Besigye was saying these things, his comrades or colleagues were saying other things. People were saying they believe in democracy. People were saying democracy works. People were saying funandaga muntu. When Besigye was saying this cannot work, tuli mu buwambe, people were saying, Museveni, I am coming for you. To do what? Are you really coming for him, or you're just playing around? You are just playing around. You cannot come from Museveni. You don't have the power. You're just talking. Empty talk. If you're coming from Museveni, come for him. So, how do you come from Museveni? Everybody can see Ngomunta coming from Museveni. That is why one person says into Munta awakaya Museveni byaddala either abira mukomera obanga mufu obanga mwekizairo. There are three. They said somebody who is really opposing Museveni is either on the run, constantly on the run, in a prison, in exile, or in a coffin. Those are the three people. Yeah. Opposing Museveni.
Democracy agotuli
ariwa
because anti-leaders Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, need democracy. Those are the things
you even have the time to supervise your business every morning and afternoon, and it is making progress. You're prospering in a country which is bleeding. Where? So people have resigned. We expect such people who want to grow their tomatoes, oranges, to set up their businesses, to leave politics and join business and be compliant to the regime. But those who really think that Uganda is bleeding, we expect them to be doing more than that, a little bit more than that.
Katika Tumuhairwe. In fact, I'm still with Dennis Tumuhairwe, political analyst. Yakanegatako. Benda bigina maso.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of narratives of 2026 MP2B.
Yes.
These things are already here.
Yes.
But there is an opposition figure, legendary opposition figure in the land, incarcerated, in your words, is about to die.
Yes.
But people are gearing up for an electoral process.
Yes. Yes.
What does this speak of the people? Because first of all, these MPs that come that we have said are already corrupted, they are part of us. These are like the best among us. Hypothetically, would say bebasinga kubanga bebagenze otukulembera. Oba bali we batyo. Atenga tulina ne dictator goita dictator. Ate right now tuddamu twekitegekera akalulu kogamba nti n'ebinaavaamu tubimanyi already. Kino kitegeeza.
There is no lie. Byonna byenkugamba bituufu. First of all, it is a fact that according to the system, Eriwo is going to rig the next election and going to be the next president. That is a fact. Unless we have planned to change some things. According to what I see, nobody in opposition, because Museveni will not set up a system that will remove him out of power. He puts up a structure that retains him in power. Now, that structure is corrupted. We think we can break it. How do we break it? If we unite on that. Now people are rushing in the election. Abantu baduka kuyingira kalulu. Akalulu ke bayingiramu. Museveni akategese mu mateeka ge amafu. Now, bwaba akategese mu mateeka amafu. Kiba kitegeeza n'ebinaavaamu bimanyiddwa already. Ebigenda ova mu kalulu ka Museveni kagenda otegeka. So we thought actually that twandyegase nga Bannayuganda ne tusooka tutereeza ekisaawe. We level the playing field. Because Museveni Uganda si ya Museveni nedda. Uganda ya Uganda. Ya Bannayuganda bonna. So talina buyinza. Museveni has no power, authority okubanga ye atuwaako buwi mbukati kale mbakirizaako mwe abamu muwangule then kino sijja kibawa. Museveni has no monopoly over some positions. Nti kya president kyo tajja kituwa. Then some position of MP ajatuwayo ko. Nga walodi meya kale obokale kambabalekere. No. Museveni has no power. Talina buyinza bukole ekyo.
Yes, sir.
The playing field must be leveled. Tujanga tuli equal terms. Bwafuna byafunye mu mateeka mu mazima zibya. Byatafunye mu mazima abiwaayo. Si kwefuula nti atukola kinti atuyamba. So, abola aba warming up nga system bagira bali corrupted. Nga nebinaavamu babimanyi bali benkugambyeko compliant abali ku bifo byabwe, they are after positions, their own positions. And I want to be quoted correctly. I'm not saying getting positions is a problem over bad in itself. If position could be used to facilitate the struggle, no problem.
Aren't they being used?
That's what I am saying. I am saying political positions, MPs, mayor, whatever, are not being used effectively to facilitate the struggle. People are using these positions to enrich themselves, set up businesses and make themselves comfortable. So you are not in opposition to fight the dictator, but actually to sanitize him. People are sanitizing the dictator. Legitimize him. People are legitimizing the president. He put up a very nice constitution. It says there is the government and opposition, leader of opposition. Everybody has a budget. MPs have a budget. Opposition MPs have a budget. They have accountability committees they head, which are a bit, which to portray a semblance of democracy.
Tuwaliwo parliament, namu abantu ab'enjawulo, mulimu opposition, mulimu leader of government business. Kwega bintu bya bulijjo there is a
tuli mu nfuga ey'amateeka. Era nga bw'olaba twalonda ono yawangula, ono yali wakubiri, era bwe yafuuka owokubiri ne tumuwa leader opposition, era tutambula bulungi.
Yes, sir.
Ate nga si kituufu because the elections were rigged. The man rigs elections every now and then. abaka ba parliament abayo babawadde ne bakuwayo 50 n'ogamba yes ndi w'amaanyi ng'ogenda okuba ekifuba ogamba tondaba ndi w'amaanyi nayo 50. What nonsense is that? So it's a whole joke that cannot really help Ugandans.
Let me ask you, because NUP and Kyagulanyi has said that he is going to participate in the next election. My question, and without contradiction, is does Kyagulanyi really want power?
First of all, that question, I want again the benefit of the doubt. Once again, that he has a plan as a politician. However, in the last election, where he said, bafunendanga muntu balonde, agamba bafunendanga matolonde, mubindekere, bikwase Kyagulanyi, and other words, he said it is democracy works. Contrary to what Dr. Besigye had said, when he went in that election, after voting, after Museveni was declared the winner, Bobi Wine stayed in his home for 58 days without saying a word. When they attempted to go to court, the next move was an attempt to go to court after 2 weeks. Then the case was again withdrawn. And he kept quiet for over a month. That is when he said, now I'm going to demonstrate. He did a few rounds, then zip. Now, we are waiting to watch how he transacts himself this time. If, for example, you go into an election and it is what they are talking about, a protest vote. Protest vote, first of all, is a joke itself. It means that you know the outcome of that election, but you're going anyway. Now, if you're going, what is the plan? I want to see that plan. You're going to an election which is already determined. Under what plan? With what plan? If, for example, he's going in an election, and let's say he's saying on voting day is when we start to liberate ourselves. That's a good plan. I have no problem. Because then people, you have built the anxiety in people, then you're going to call, there's a call to action. Maybe the status quo might change. The regime might say, guys, guess what? We think this was a bad election. Now we can sit. But what he should be doing right now is, first of all, fixing the errors in the electoral system. We think that it's not wise. Noza kyabujega. Akusigambo ky'Oluganda. Kyabujega okugenda mu kaluka Museveni kati. Nga bwe kali. Because ebigenda okwavaamu bimanyikiddwa bulungi. Omuntu yenna omugezi yandibadde ateekawo embeera egamba nti at least Electoral Commission Museveni byogamba nti tulinde by'abakamaalangirire nedda. Electoral Commission ba commissioners at least tugambe naffe tuyinza okuleteekayo ba commissioners as opposition. Ekyokubiri, this system, as I was telling you, at least tugambe nti as the electoral reforms that have been suggested, tugambe nti at least ku district abantu babenga tulina tale center ku district esemberayo ddala esobola okudeclaringa final results of a district declared at a district.
Bino byogenda ku tale center
nedda. Nti district bwe tukunganya obwe Kampala tubukunganyize gundi ya Kampala eri wali naguru office ya Electoral Commission. The Kampala votes for president are mobilized and declared in Kampala. The Masaka in Masaka. The one of Wakiso in Wakiso. Mukono the same. So that I can trace and know which districts did I win. Then I can say I won Kampala with so much votes and this margin. Then I can see Ngata Kontia. How do you? Simple mathematics. But these things of we are voting Ujumula, then one person seated somewhere in Chambogo is going to declare, then he starts declaring from my village of Bitereko. Will say Bitereko before Kampala. Someone will declare Bitereko, before declaring Mutungu, then you say, man, how did you get empirical results before here?
And this is a national, it's a nation, sorry. It's a national election and
yes,
it's a nation.
But yes, that is...
In fact, that is the basis where most of the regime apologists based on to say, you people think that that Uganda is just Kampala or the urban center.
It is a problematic... It is problematic because in the same time when he's declaring, polling, when he's reading, he doesn't say, let me read district by district. Even that. Actually, even if you said, okay, now let's say you read district by district. The man can read a result of Kampala. Then he jumps to Serere. Then he jumps. Kabila Maido. Like, man, this guy. What is he reading? So, I think it is the whole system is designed to rig elections.
Toze mchibuzo change chenjagala okudda mu myaka etaano egiyise kuva 2020 because ono mwami in fact katubale kuva 2018 lwayingira power mu myaka omusanvu gyobala does Kyagulanyi want power in your perspective?
You see, when it walks like a duck and moves like a duck and quacks like a duck,
it's probably a duck.
It is probably a duck. When we were starting people power, I've seen people doubt. That's
where I was even coming.
That is their issue. But when we were beginning people power, the first interactions I had with Mr. Kyagulanyi were centered about that. Ngambuza Dennis Museveni anadamu atufuge. Lwaki Museveni atufuga? And the first time I think we interacted was a time when Dr. Besigye was under incarceration in his house.
2016?
Yes, in his house. He was in his house, house arrest.
Yes.
Then Bobi Wine called me. Then we started talking politics. Then I wonder, why are you asking me these things? They're like, man, I'm interested. This man has suffered. Then then they asked me, why are Ugandans quiet? I told him, Ugandans need to be mobilized. We need somebody who can wake these masses. A person with mobilization capabilities like yours. If those youth that believe in you could throng the streets now and demand for the release of Besigye, demand for the victory that Besigye claims, things would be different. So before Bobi Wine joined politics, we discussed the issue of why Museveni still rules us after losing the elections. So even before he put in the first foot in politics, he knew what was going on. So I was surprised, really, that when he now, finally, after some years, took over that position, he now either forgot the deliberately or something went wrong. So it's not that he does not know. Bobi Wine knows very well that he will not be declared, because that was the first discussion I had with him before he joined politics. Why Besigye won the election and is not going to be the president? That is the discussion. The first discussion I had with Bobi Wine, it was at his Semakokiro Plaza, down in Kamocha, down. Besigye was under house arrest in 2016, before Bobi Wine joined politics. And he was asking me, why is this man? Because Bobi Wine voted Besigye that time. And I was a Besigye campaigner. So he was trying to get to know what's the problem. So we agreed that it will take more than just the vote. It will take more than just the candidate. It will take mobilizing Ugandans to demand for their vote. Now, that one he knew forehand. What he's doing, I don't know. So to your question, I think I've answered you.
Yes, you have. Some people say that this is an outfit created by the regime itself, by the state. You were one of the founders, as you claim. Is this true?
I was not, personally, I was not sent by anybody. I was a supporter of Dr. Besigye. And I want to tell you, the first conversation I had with Bobi Wine, he had voted Besigye. His brother Nyanzi, to the contrary, in the 2016 election was on the NRM National Task Force. He had joined NRM at that time in 2016. And that is why I was having this conversation with Bobi Wine and him not with his brother. He had seen me very active in the Besigye campaigns, and he had his issues also with the system. Another story for another day. Whatever, music and what wanted him to sing what he didn't sing.
Yeah, tubonga now.
Those things he had, and
He refused.
he had issues with the baby calls and what around. They had some disagreements, and they came on him, and he felt some injustice and felt humiliated in a way, and so he wanted to join the opposition. So that was the point. Then he was active, he voted, then he waited for the results. According to him, the results were clear that Besigye had won. Now, when Besigye did not win, he calls me and asks me, what plans do you guys have as UID? That's when we had this conversation. Now, nobody sent me. Along the way, things start to change as we move. Now, when we move, new players come on board. Now, as players come on board, some that I know, others that those that I've never seen in my political life of about 20 years now. And that is a point when People Power is formed, then we form a political party, NUP, and then now people are trying to replace those that I know. I know faces from, you say a face can come from FDC where I've not been a member, but I know this man has been in opposition. A face can come from DP. Oh, no. I've been seeing him in the struggle, but we saw people joining the party and taking up serious positions of authority in the party. Say treasurer, say secretary general, and we're like, now this man, where is he from? Since when? Where has he been? Then, like, no. We started to smell a rat, but of course, people, they speak as if opposition, then we wait for action. Then all of a sudden, same thing, things start to turn around. So basically my point is that personally, during our conversation with Bobi Wine, there was no state influence. You would say when we went to the election of Chadondo, we had some friendly forces that could come and really help, but when you're in the election, you think everybody is helping you.
Yes.
They support you. We got some good support in Chadondo when we went to Chadondo from different players, but that support has come before. Even when we were in DP or what, you can't fold people for supporting you. That's what I don't take for granted. Now the actions, now that's my issue is the actions of the leaders would then have to exonerate them from the suspicions the public has.
Have they exonerated them in your regard?
So far no.
Do they confirm the bias that Ugandans have, that maybe
people have legitimate concerns, and that is why the leadership of NUP has to really come up and show that why does it seem as if Museveni, or by the status quo, the regime is comfortable with their kind of opposition?
Can we call it comfortable when they are arresting, in fact abducting people like that?
They are not abducting. You see, because it is a whole choreographed system of hypocrisy, somebody might not actually divulge true details to their supporters. A supporter might be more radical than the leaders, the commanders. That's what I said. You, Edgar, you cannot command any struggle. We have leaders. If you are the leader, then that's your role. So, but if we chose you, Edgar, as the leader, then you cannot have people commanding everywhere. So, what are the commanders doing? They should not be arrested. The last person to arrest would be the foot soldier. You get me?
But in this instance, they are arresting the foot soldier before the leader.
Yeah. The leader is the one who is supposed to command. But when you see people arresting foot soldier and they spend 3 years in prison, you're like, yeah. People might, then that is the talking point for that group. They go around masquerading, say my people are being arrested. Then why are you out? Your people are being arrested for what? So maybe it is possible. It is possible that the followers are not part of the game, but the leaders are part of a game, and they can only go so much. They can only go a distance. So that is why
you use the word choreographed.
Yeah.
So
we play. They put up a semblance of resistance. So those who are following them can actually think that they are in some.
But these people have more than 1 million Ugandans that are behind them.
They don't know it's a game. How do you know if your leader if your leader is hoodwinking you and they are people you trust? You see, we have a cult like following. In people follow some leaders, some politicians have a cult like following. You know, when Chiwetere was going to ban people, after the worship team, he would tell them, go and sell your things and you're going to heaven. He locked them in one room and touched them. That's what I heard. And I've come to believe that there are individuals in Uganda who, when they tell somebody anything, their followers, they will believe 100%.
Gallibly, anything.
Anything you tell them. Someone can wake up one day and tell you Dennis is putting on a white suit. That suit Dennis is putting on is white. Katilinga agamba nti Kyagulanyi agambye ati nti ya white. Iyo ya white wabanga bwagambye. So such followers will not differentiate. You can just go on with your game and take them along the ride. They might not know. So it is the challenge is not actually on anybody but the leaders of NUP.
Okay. To
come up and clear such issues, because we think that the opposition they have is comfortable. As I've told you, if Bobi Wine and his group, the group you saw yesterday, if they woke up every day and do just a quarter of what Dr. Besigye has been doing or has tried to do, I want to tell you that the status quo would change in this country.
Tumuhairwe, how do you fall out with Kyagulanyi?
As my falling out, as I told you, was about such things that I did not understand. Number one, the elimination of some players that we had moved with. You are moving, then you see, you saw I've been in opposition for some time. I began in about 2001, when Besigye was joining. I was about 17 years. Then I joined. Then we have been in our hustles. Then I joined UID. I've been a member of the Democratic Party, but I've supported Besigye when I'm a member of the DP. Now, we've had several opportunities to get to join the NRM and just be comfortable. But because we believed that the system is corrupted, we thought that all these injustices, as I mentioned them before, were something we cannot stand with. I thought I would not associate myself with a regime that is so dictatorial, that kills people and does the same. So, when a semblance of dictatorship began to manifest in the NUP, I felt that it was no longer my place. That was my departure. There was a semblance of dictatorship in that group. Then I said,
Chishinga dictatorship, but do you want to do you have some examples to say that this person was dictatorial, or this is an action that showed that this person was dictatorial?
There was no longer a semblance of group. You see, when you're moving something, a cause, a common cause, it was like, it began to look as some project to soothe somebody, to make somebody feel good, and a personal project. it clearly became a personal project. That is why, up to now, some members in that party know only one thing. For them, they know Kyagulanyi is the struggle. We have members in that party. I think I can tell you more than 70%. If Kyagulanyi stepped aside, they would leave politics.
They are there for Kyagulanyi.
Now, that's not how they build the struggle. We auspice ideals of that. That means Kyagulanyi, if you have an issue with Kyagulanyi, which is personal, that means you cannot be wrong. We used to be in DP, but I would not. You could disagree with Mao and go to the DP headquarters. You go to DP headquarters, you go straight to the Secretary General's office. President ali mu office yetu ogenda yo. President oyo twayawukana ku nsonga zonna zino. N'ekibiina kyange wabanga agamba kyali ku struggle tutambuze. In NUP wayawukana ne president tolinyawo wali mwawukana.
So that is the same thing Bigiro was saying here.
Kakati, what is that? Is that a party? Is that what? You mean you cannot be in NUP when you have issues with the president? What is that? What are they building? What is that? Is that a political party? People in FDC had issues with Dr. Besigye or even Muntu, but they were members of FDC. So, but in NUP, there is no person that has an issue with the Kyagulanyi that will remain in that party. He will either be hounded out or he can even be hacked properly. So, that is now another joke altogether. First of all, he's new in politics. He does not know so much. So tasobya ati omuntu atamanyi abacha nga tasobya nga tamanyi byonna. Amanyimu is quite brilliant. He's a fast learner, he's quite brilliant. But he's not alpha in the politics. Some things he needs to be guided and advised. He could even make wrong decisions. So bwongamo omuntu ngoya ali mu kuyiga ntasobya. Then what are we building?
Kati ng'omaliriza magezi kigowa tuli in a political season byonna bigenda maaso obiraba. As an analyst and as a person with experience in the politics of this country, what do you have to say? How can this year be used by the opposition, really?
First of all, I would like to kusaba bana Uganda bonna of opposition to put their differences aside. Enjawukana baziteeke wabbali and try to come together. You don't have to be my friend, as I told you.
Yes, sir.
As long as we know we have something in common. We agree on some things. Bwetubanga tukanya nti efuga biringi mu ggwanga. Bwetubanga tukanya nti okunyigizibwa weekuli. Bwetubanga tukanya nti democracy yabamunyigiri bamuvunze. Then you don't have to be my friend. Chenagamba wano bakolegi wano nti ebiri personal tubireka. You don't have to come out with me. Don't go out with me. No. Don't come to my place. Don't come to my home. Don't come to my home. Don't go out with me. Don't take my samosa. Let's meet at work. Let's get to work. Then to move and go kuba dictator. It's sembera yoku Dr. Besigye. Nadala H.R. Besigye has been an icon of this struggle. Erafe tumwenyumiriza munyo. I started supporting. I joined the politics by supporting Dr. Besigye. Then we went until today, even when he stopped contesting, I understood what he was saying. Besigye did not stop contesting for president because he was weak. He told us that elections cannot remove Museveni. Others misinterpreted it as if he has given them a leeway to stand. No, he was saying, let's use this path. Unfortunately, people didn't follow him, and he thought they could contest and do what he has been doing. But he has been proven right because they have not attained any success in trying to do what he failed at doing. So I think it is high time we actually come together as opposition and devise means. Uganda is bigger than all of us. Yes, we should come together. This involves even the life of a fellow combatant. Dr. Besigye can lose his life. Dr. Besigye could easily die in these funny circumstances. So I really think that the Kyagulanyis, Mathias Mpuuga, Erias Lukwago, Council Segona, everybody, I think it's high time we come together and see how we unite Ugandans. Ultimately, as I told you, not only leaders can fight, but they should lead the masses. Ugandans need leadership.
Okay, thank you so much, Tumuhairwe Dennis.
Thank you.
That is Dennis Tumuhairwe, political analyst and also one of our guests here at TikTok TV. It's always a privilege to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. From the entire team, that is all that we had for you this morning. We shall return again tomorrow at exactly 8 a.m. It will be the women. It's always a Woman Crush Wednesday right here. But we have these conversations to make Uganda a better place, not only for us, but prepare it for the next generation, because Uganda has been here before. We found it here and we shall leave it here. Uganda is here to stay. So these conversations are to shape a better Uganda for ourselves, but also advise and guide, because that is what we can really do as the fourth estate. We shall see again, as I told you. Ted was on camera, and of course Mr. Mukosa is always in the production, making sure that you get this footage very clearly. Without them, we are nothing here. We shall meet you again tomorrow. Good morning, Uganda.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.